I got you.
All right. Start with Wes, Gustavo, and Rob.
Rick, how difficult is it to sort of explain what happened offensively in the second half of that game?
Well, I don't know if it's hard to explain. I mean, we lost our aggressiveness. We talked about their changing defenses and what they were going to do and how they do it and how we want to have an attack mode. We got to where we were throwing the ball sideline to sideline, holding the ball and letting them trap one side of the court, the other side of the court. We did not protect the ball the way we needed to. I mean, we had some just horrendous turnovers. And when you add that with the fact that we missed some shots that, well, I'd like to think we can make around the rim. And then you add that with missing the front end of 1-and-1s and free throws, it makes for a long night. And that's the disappointing part of it is that we didn't have great guard. We didn't, great guard play. We didn't have it. And you'd like to think that when teams change defenses, that you have guards on the floor that have good basketball IQ. They can make those adjustments. But it's disappointing because, again, the thing that we've been looking for all year is consistency, and we just don't seem to get it enough the way we need to. And I've said before, I think we can shoot the ball, but you look at our plus minus tonight. I think we only had two guys that were plus minus. You had Santiago and E were at +9, and Olivier was 3, but you got some guys -11, -4, and tough night it is. But it's just disappointing that we didn't handle their pressure because we just didn't attack it. We're holding the ball, and we have to attack that. And as much as we talked about it, not doing it, that's just really disappointing.
Coach, in terms of your field goal performance of your players, you guys, I think it was 12 minutes in the second half. You guys didn't score a field goal. I think 1 for 14. How do you see in the field goal performance tonight?
Well, I understand some nights when you're not making threes. I mean, we shot the ball early and turned down some shots early, and that again it allowed they got a lot of baskets off of our offense. And we talk about the two defense offense being married. I mean, you can't give a team. I haven't even looked at it. It's got to be around 20 points because of just not passing the ball, executing on the offensive end, and we were up. We had a chance a couple of times to really stretch it out and put some pressure on them, but missed free throws, some layups or turnovers, let them get back in the game, and then White got aggressive inside scoring and putting us in foul trouble, and we didn't have an answer for it, and I just felt like, again, you can't give up. We're too good a defensive team to continue to let our offense, to let people score off of our offense, and with 4 guards on the floor. Guards are supposed to take care of the ball and handle the ball. But some of the ways we turn it over is just, honestly, it's just being lazy, not understanding how important the ball is. I can't, right now, it baffles me to think of some of the ways we turn that ball over.
Go ahead, Rob.
Coach, typically, I mean, it just seemed like you guys are really good attacking zones with your zone offense. Where did you feel like you came up short tonight? Where was the breakdown in execution?
Probably the smaller lineup out there. And I've said before, we still have some guys that don't know our offense because of they should, but miss practices and not concentrating the way we need to. I mean, we had some busted out of bounds plays where guys went the wrong way, the young guys, and those all hurt. But we got the ball in the middle of the zone, and we got it there. But again, Rob, it's just hard for me because we normally don't have that problem with it. Like Eve had the ball, White had, I think, 3 or 4 fouls on him. Instead of going out making him play, he passed it out one time. And it's one thing catching and facing up, but sometimes you got to go, especially when a guy's got 4 fouls on him, and attack and make, because again, he's going to do everything he can not to foul. But it's we feel that Keon can go inside and play against his own some too. And Josiah's there. He's obviously not as good with his back to the basket, but stepping him out opens up gaps more. And Keon was able to drive the ball in there a few times. He just couldn't finish it. And then when we got fouled, we couldn't come away with the free throws that we needed at the time. But just too many breakdowns. And again, still not understanding And it's more, the young guys still trying to figure their way through some of this and realizing that, hey, there's guys that can play. And some of our turnovers, again, it just goes back. Some of our turnovers were absolutely ridiculous.
Mike Wilson, Ben McKee, and Grant Ramey.
Yeah, Rick, seemed like about 7 minutes to play. They went to that half court trap, and you guys had 3 turnovers in 4 possessions. How deflating is that? And how surprising was that, given that you guys presumably spent a lot of time on that exact defense?
Well, it's not only is it deflating, it's an energizer for them, and it's the way we gave it to them. I mean, Santi comes across half court, not where he's supposed to be, drags his foot. Josiah at 6'7" throws a pass, it gets deflected. I actually had another one that got deflected that we got, and same thing. Come over half court, caught the ball exactly where we told him you cannot catch the ball in that area. But Santi again shouldn't have thrown it because the guy was too high yet and slid down. Never got the ball in early, and they ran the same thing early in the game. And we were just getting it to the baseline, looking to attack. We just stopped attacking, and some of that had to do with guys getting to their space quicker. That's what happens when you get tentative and get back on your heels.
Coach, John Fulkerson finished with 5 shot attempts, and you all were outscored 30-10 in the paint. Just how frustrating is it to see those numbers after a second half stretch in which you don't score for 13 minutes?
Well, it is frustrating because again, he reverted back early, catching the ball, holding it like he had been. And again, when he finally made a little jump hook, he went and played with it. But I mean, he's the guy that's got to be. I mean, I can talk about the freshmen still learning. John has played enough right now. He should be consistent. I think over the last 3 games or so, Eve has done the things that we like him to do. Folky had a good game the other night, and we felt like hoping that he would be back, but he wasn't. I mean, he's a guy that in the past when we needed those baskets inside, we could go to, but he's waiting too long. And we knew they were going to double team, but that's the kick out threes that we're getting early. And it's just a really frustrating game in terms of consistency. And I'm not sure anybody had a solid game. I could probably make a case for Eve doing some good things and Santi plus, but those turnovers, guards should not turn the ball over against that defense when basically we talked about that as much as anything because we felt that's what they had to do to try to mix things up with their defenses. But it's frustrating. That's all I can tell you. And right now you can tell I'm frustrated because I don't understand how we can do it.
Rick, you mentioned your young guards still learning that other guys can play. Are you surprised that you're 16 games into this thing and they're still learning?
Yes, and not listening coming out of timeouts, throwing the ball to the wrong side as opposed to throwing it where it's supposed to go, and whether it's listening or understanding. And I mean, we call some plays, and one guy, not just a couple guys will look around and say, "What is it?" Where we have the older group, they can execute more, but the younger group does not understand the importance of offensive execution the way they need to.
Nicholas Hill and Wes Rucker.
Coach, how big of a concern right now is the free throw shooting to you? Because obviously there's some big missed free throws down the stretch, and then heading back to the last losing streak, there were some big missed free throws in those particular games. Just how big of a concern is that to you?
Well, you're only as good as your last time out, and right now we're not very good. And so those missed 1-and-1s are like turnovers. So if we had 18 turnovers, you go ahead and tack on 2 or 3 more because that's what they turn into if you don't make the front end of 1-and-1s.
Rick, you talk about consistency and lack of consistency. Is mental toughness with this team at times an issue, or is it just a focus thing?
No, I would say both of them, mental toughness and focus. I'd put those 2 together. But I don't think you can have one without the other. So if you can either call it mental toughness, focus, whatever you want to call it. But I definitely put those 2 together. And I think with our team, those are issues right now.
Finish up with David Pascal.
Rick, I'm sorry, I may have gotten on just a couple of minutes late. Did you talk about Keon and that after he missed that free throw, what went into the thought of him making that second one? Did you think about having him miss that one with 3.5 seconds left?
No, what we were trying to do, we wanted him to make that, and we wanted to foul. We wanted to push the guys inside underneath the basket and foul without any time going off the clock. But we didn't execute that either.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.